welcome to a special reactions podcast here on the Crossplay Podcast. I am your host, Nicky James, here with the homie Peps.
Hello, hello.
So we just watched Great Balls of Fire, the very first Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view event. Jose, what was your general feeling about the outcome of the pay-per-view overall?
It was a pretty solid pay-per-view. I was greatly sports entertained.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very sports entertained too. To me, it had a bit of a lull in the middle when it got to the half-hour Iron Man match, and the women's match after that. You didn't seem to feel the same way, though. I mean, you saw how much I hated that Iron Man match.
Yeah, I mean, they did drag it out, but I love every single minute of it. I didn't like the ending personally. I felt like the Hardys kind of deserved that win. But, it's just like how Cesaro and Sheamus, how they are. They're just, I don't know, I guess the better team won.
Yeah, that's what I would say, too, is the better team won. It had a really screwy finish at first. Remember midway through the match, the audience thought the ref counted 3 when he didn't?
Yeah, that's right. They even started chanting that chant.
Ref, you suck.
Ref, you
I
suck.
think
Yes, right.
And then at the end of the match, it had kind of a screwy finish where what happened was Cesaro tagged Sheamus and the camera didn't catch it. And then there was a little bit of a tussle, and then Jeff Hardy did a Swanton Bomb.
Yes.
Landed it square on Sheamus. Went for the pin. It didn't count. They got distracted. Sheamus and Cesaro picked up the win. While I'm not really happy with that finish, I think it's the better team won. Jeff Hardy didn't see the tag. That was his fault as a performer. He should have seen it. Overall, I'm unhappy with the ending.
Same.
But it was still an entertaining match.
It was very. Yeah, you're right. I wasn't, happy with the ending, but it is what it is.
So let's start, since we're already talking about the matches. Let's go from the top here. There was Neville versus Akira Tozawa that was on the pre-show.
That was the pre-show, yes.
Give me a quick, what did you think of that match?
It was pretty solid. Neville, good work as always. Tozawa was pretty good himself as well. Titus O'Neil, yes. I had a problem with him. He just kept not interfering, but I guess in a sense it felt like he was trying to put himself in the spotlight.
Titus was trying to make himself go over, and he's a manager, and he was trying to act like the superstar. Like when the Akira's entrance hit, Titus came out first.
And he was in the middle.
He was in the middle of the ramp, and then he got into Akira Tozawa's way on the way out. It kind of looked bad. So what was your outtake? Or excuse me, I'm going to edit this part. What was your take on the ending of that match?
The ending?
It ended up with Neville winning with the gut kick, and then I think he rolled up Akira. Did you want Neville to win?
I did, yes. I'm a fan of Neville. I love his work. So far, he's had a good run.
Well, a couple seconds. Do you think Akira Tozawa is on the Neville level? Does he have the ability to beat Neville eventually?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It was an okay match. It was, in the end, I expected Neville to win, and he won. I mean, what else can you expect? So moving on down the list here, we got Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt. Bray ended up taking the win in that match. Was that expected to you? It was unexpected to me.
No,
I thought.
Not at all. I expected Seth Rollins to win, to be perfectly honest. But I was happy either way, whoever won. Bray is deserving of that win, to be honest, because
not only deserving, he needs a win.
Yes.
Especially on a pay-per-view. And I thought Seth was going to win because they just announced him as the cover boy for WWE 2K18.
So, I feel like, all right.
So I thought he would win it, and he didn't. But it was a good match. It was a great opening match. So let's move right along here to Enzo Amore versus Big Cass.
We all knew where that was going.
Yeah, they're showing it. Actually, here we're rewatching some highlights of the pay-per-view here as we talk. They're showing it here. Enzo Amore got absolutely no offense.
He was pretty much demolished.
Big Cass here doing a gorilla press, throws him out of the ring. He just absolutely. I mean, what do you expect? He's 5'8" versus a 7-footer. Yeah. Here, Cass gets him with a huge big boot. Match was over. It was really quick. I don't think anybody's surprised. It's tough to see. You know, they kind of got me with this story. I really care about this tag team, and
I
it
still do care.
sucks to see Enzo lose, but
Right.
no one's surprised really, right?
Not at all.
So moving on down the list here, we got Cesaro and Sheamus defending their Raw tag team titles versus the Hardys. That was a pretty good match, but let's skip right to the ending. The ending was, I mean, we addressed it, so we're gonna just move past it really quick. But were you happy with the ending of that match?
Not at all.
Me
Not
either.
at the very least.
I mean, we don't need to get into it. We just
Right.
talked about it, so let's move right on. We have the champion Alexa Bliss taking on Sasha Banks. Alexa ended up coming out with the win, although it was kind of BS. She won. She pulled an Uso.
She pulled an Usos match, but overall the match was pretty solid. Both worked very well with each other. No botches at all.
Yeah, surprising. Alexa's gotten really good in the ring. You know, her character work
Right.
was awesome. Her promo work was awesome. She's getting better and better. It was a good match. So moving right along here, we got The Miz defending his Intercontinental title against Dean Ambrose. It was a pretty good match. The Miz won because towards the end of the match, the Miztourage, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel ended up getting on the apron, and they kind of played a tag back and forth with Dean Ambrose, keeping Ambrose distracted long enough for Miz to hit the skull-crushing finale. 1, 2, 3, title defended. What did you think of the match? Good or bad?
It was really good. I was really happy with the ending. I like Miz a lot more than I do Dean Ambrose, so I was pretty happy with that ending.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I don't know where Dean goes from here. He could continue to feud with The Miz. But I don't know. I don't really see where he's going from here. The Miz is actually, once again, managing to make lemonade out of lemons. He came to Raw off of a lot of heat from SmackDown and kind of floundered for a few months. But now it seems his Miztourage is really kind of bringing a lot more interest to his character and making him more interesting to watch. So it'll be really cool to see what he does on Raw for the next few weeks. So, moving right along to Roman Reigns versus your favorite pasta-based wrestler, Braun Stroganoff.
Pasta-based.
Braun Strowman. I'm looking at your notes here, Jose. I could tell like you were drinking because the notes get funnier and funnier as you go.
I'm just a fan of pasta, okay? Leave me alone.
So you have Roman Reigns versus Braun Stroganoff, winner beef. So I think what you mean by that is Braun Strowman won. He sidestepped a spear from Roman Reigns at the end of the match, ducked him into the ambulance, and secured the win.
That overall was a really great match.
I was pleasantly surprised. I wanted to like that match. I wanted it to be good, and it was great. So, I mean, I'm not disappointed. It was a good match. I can't see...
That ending was such a surprise, actually. I didn't expect a prologue. Not a prologue.
An epilogue.
Epilogue, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they brought out the clowns, Curtis Axel.
The clowns.
And Heath
Oh, that's
Slater.
right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And they didn't even show the match at the end of the...
That's really unfortunate because I was really interested in that match.
Yeah,
I wanted to see who won, Curtis Axel or Heath Slater.
Yeah, Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt
Excuse
Hawkins.
me.
Sorry, yes.
So Kurt Hawkins, nobody knows who won. Did you see who won?
No. The camera work was basically on the ambulance when they
about 2 minutes into the match, they cut away to the ambulance, and then suddenly there was a bell.
Yeah, and you
so
heard the music
somebody
playing.
won. Who knows? Who cares? Other than Peps. Moving on to the very last match of the night, Samoa Joe trying to get the WWE Universal Championship away from Big Bad Brock Lesnar. What was your take? What did you think?
Overall, it was really well presented. Actually,
Who won?
Who won was Brock Lesnar
Off of a single F5.
Single F5. Yes,
Did you wanted Brock to win? Correct.
I did. Yes, I personally, I'm not a fan of Samoa Joe. I didn't think he was capable of taking that belt off.
Wait. What's your beef with Joe? What's your spam with
beef
Samoa
at all,
Joe?
Not at all. It's just like I don't think he's good enough to take that strap off of Brock Lesnar.
Well, you know what they did was, we just talked about this a second ago before we started recording, was they did a really good job at making Brock retain while making Samoa Joe look strong.
True.
You and I said this before the pay-per-view even started, and I think we were right when we said that this is just a prelude to SummerSlam. A lot of these matches are going to continue on to SummerSlam. When you got Alexa Bliss pulling out of the match for a count out to retain the belt by default,
right?
Things like that happening. They're clearly just setting up for SummerSlam. So Brock won. Brock defended his title. Still the WWE Universal Champion. Jose, give me your closing words on the pay-per-view. What do you think? What are you going to think looking back on this?
Overall, it was a really great pay-per-view. Not bad at all in any aspect whatsoever. They were all great spots, good call-outs. That was it.
Looking back, would you call this a good pay-per-view?
Very much so, yes.
I think so too. It was my take. It was a very good pay-per-view. There was a bit of a lull in the middle with the women's match and the Hardys, especially that 30-minute Iron Man match. That's a lot to ask me to sit through, especially when I've been seeing them face each other
for the past 4 months.
Yeah, on Raw every week. So I'm really over that feud. I can go and never see those four face each other again and be very happy. So, anyways. We're going to call it a night here, folks, over here at the Crossplay Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us. I've been Nicky James. He's been Peps. He is Peps. And we will see you next time on the Crossplay Podcast. Guys, thanks for joining us. See you next time.